or use a keyboard, you know what. I don't like using the word gangster because I'm not violent. And so when you're behind a keyboard and you're acting violent, you're dialing stuff up that shouldn't be real. And nowadays with what CRISPR is, it's that's like, I'm not even saying it's directly related to CRISPR. It's probably a thing better that have made what is things developed in laboratories that are hazardous. But it's the only way I can relate it on video. And I'm not it. So if something's a bit cringe and it's not really lit, that's when trolls are at top notch. And getting your keyboard gangster on. This is a thing where if your only thing that's keeping you awake inside of the venue is Truckosaurus, the main event, the thing that's been highly anticipated above all the rest. It's like this guy in Madison. He has an entire place, a land, if you will. And the one thing that it's got going for it is this orchestra that's all dialed in with no one playing, and it plays. And so this reminds me of Chuck E. Cheese's Their Band, or a music box on steroids. And so that's its main attraction. Truckosaurus at a Hot Wheels Derby rally is a main thing that would keep you awake. Other than if you're seeing a chat and you're trolling the chat, you're getting your keyboard gangster on. Speaking of tobacco, and so when you're trolling a chat and it's at a venue, you would be trolling otherwise, but it's on the chat. And there's a whole thing, the keyboard gangsters. A guy called me G. I'm like, what does that mean, gangster? I'm like, I'm not one. But on a keyboard, you know, I love to be coding and find myself fancy as one. And if that isn't subject to indictment, then I don't know what is, because I feel that behind the keyboard, if you do stuff that's equal to 007 of what Boris did, then it would be huge. And filling dead air, this is why I told my friend, if you grab the microphone in between songs, no one will care, because this is all dead air. The set's done and she's got DJing is rest to fill. Sideswipe. No, but if I did grab the mic is still live, but it's just no one's saying anything into it. So this would be primal time. Is that Opal? Opal, how are you? Oh my gosh, I'm great. Good. Last time I saw you was, do you remember where? The Black Swan or whatever. That place over there. Alright, well, I'll see you there next time. Go there again. You gotta go there again. High school reunions. When you bump into someone outside of a high school reunion and you're vlogging, and the last time you saw them was in one, this is it. And it's rare that there's microphones downtown. Actually, I correct that, because last night was right over here. There's these fire pits that there's free propane and they light fire. And there's air, that's free air, on the corner behind my right shoulder. So in this strip, you've got propane. I don't know if they turn it on at nighttime, because it's like the street lights. They come on at a certain time. I'm guessing they flip the switch on. However, it's like a jacuzzi. You hit the button and the fire goes. Equivalent to a jacuzzi where you hit the button and the bubbles go. Let that simmer. This is a car of a slag who has her hair like the guy from Offspring. And she's right here. So I see the door made it shadow and you couldn't see her hair even though she was right there, because the camera was dull. So if it doesn't show up on frame on the camera, you know that your camera is less than your eyes, because I saw she was right there. She parks at my job in her car and posts up, and I know that's her in her car because she stands right next to it when she posts up at my job in the lot, because I go heavy in the lot. And if you don't know how to read the lot, you can get stuck. That's really important. But no, that's what Boris does on the keyboard in 007. Boris is a character in GoldenEye. I don't want to be boisterous, but you've got to be loud when there's these effing cars and wind everywhere. You can't win them all. And so when there's highs and lows of life, you can't always be on a high or else you get decadent. And this is what happened to the royal bloodline when they become retarded. The ancient Chinese emperor had to have excuse me, people wash his you know what because his fingernails he didn't clip because he thought as a retard they look good. So they went out so long that he couldn't even grab a piece of towel to clean himself. The highs and lows of life is where you got to go and weather the winter outside to enjoy the summer, and it's that much better. The same is the case is a bag of popcorn when it burns. Not every meal is the best, so when a bag of popcorn it gets a burnt kernel or a burnt ever so much in it, you've got to throw the bag out because it's the highs and lows of life. It's just at McDonald's, there's some things that an onion drops, you don't pick up the onion, is what it is. I don't want to chronicle what hemp is, but people, when they're doing hemp, they love their tobacco afterwards. And I should know, I'm one of them. It's just I only do dip because cigs would kill me. Nice blower. How many miles per hour does that go? I have no idea, man. Dial in the hurricane. Batten down the hatches. If you get 200 miles per hour, that's a category 9. All right, so earlier I was saying that these sidewalks in Grafton is a good thing because they're maroon and no one wants blood in the streets. So it's a signification of what might occur if you're not 100 A1 from day one when it comes to what concrete does. Road rash. Chronicled hemp. With what bottles are, if there's a company and they put out bottles that are plastic and it's like a sloppy copy of what was before glass, the difference between glass and plastic was being if they're bringing back the glass, I'll still drink up the plastic in order to get the the glass up on the shelves. I'm my own team. You know, it's me, myself, and I. Shout out to Jim Carrey for making that movie, reading the script with the title. Any script that gets handed you with the title, I Am Legend, I, Robot, or Me, Myself, and I, and you're an actor in Hollywood and you don't read it, you lost. Take that for granted, or not really, with a grain of salt, and that's what keyboard gangsters are. Anything with a password that you know is hip is probably something that you should be interested in. Let that soak in. I don't want that to be like my thing where I say let that simmer, let that soak in. It's getting kind of weird when I do that, but no. These crosswalks are maroon, and so if that's any implication to blood in the streets, you tell me the difference between red and maroon. Let that soak in. Let that simmer. That's like Gandalf, keep it secret, keep it safe, and then Fauci, it's non-essential, safe and effective. But no, in any case was the commercialism with what is a not a scapegoat, adjuvant. 1 second. What were we covering? What were we covering beforehand? What were we covering beforehand? Thank you. The golden arches, and this is a thing where it's like in video games where if you have power moves with the most essential movements of your body and they're most literal to what is something nonchalant, these are the best moves because they're generic, because you can use them in any circumstance, anywhere, because they don't have need stuff to materialize like a shot put. So it's just confirmed that, and this is from a real Wisconsinite, the person that I first moved here, and I saw that there was a couple, and they were just like, one guy went bald, and this female, her name was Opal, and they broke up. I thought they were going to get married, but no, they should just confirm that. And this was my sneaky suspicion. Looking bad on the sidewalk, she was like, you would never gossip with someone about someone looking bad on a sidewalk. And I had 3 questions to ask her. The third one was going to be funny. The second one, I jumped the gun. It's reminiscent of when I was a kid. I wanted to like ask this girl something, and I gave her like my phone number before I even started to talk to her. So with Opal and I gave her like my second question before I got to the first one. And when I was addressing this caution tape setup, because downtown I've never seen caution tape set up for a live event, and this one I had to jump under it to even address her behind the caution tape. So that was startling. Probably counted as my second question. My third question, I thought that it would be funny because I'm trying to draw up like an interview real quick to confirm one thing. And so my third question, I thought really quickly, it was great on my feet, on the fly, was what is the, I was like, you would never dive into the water fountain, right? And there's this water fountain with quarters in it. And she's like, oh, of course not. At that point, she knew how to cut the interview. So what Grimace is equal to what Mr. Potato Head was, but back in the day, they didn't really have patents established, so it didn't really matter if they looked the same. However, the character of Grimace nowadays, in modern day, in the era, they're giving it to shirts of people who do great. And this is not a gimmick, it's actually a skill. And if you make new skills and ranges, you're actually part of commercialism by default. The world does not enough. If you catch stuff, you can catch fudge on an ice cream cone. You can catch anything. And nowadays, if you make arenas where you catch stuff like in a bowling, throw me a bone here, give me a second. Cosmic bowling is equal to ice skating if it's cosmic ice skating in the Olympics. But if you're catching stuff under these environments, the circumstances for the risk reward are better. And it's the animated Contest of Liberty. Watch the rest of this vlog, where I include Opal, an 8-minute vlog with her in it, where her kids were giving her a run for her money because we couldn't explain what the Black Swan was. It was our reunion where we're supposed to meet in our class next time, and we know we're going to go there.